Welcome back to yet another video. Today we are going to be talking my SEIKO collection.
Fly with the stars, I'm free. Party all day, every weekend. Make it boom boom to the beat.
That comes to a total of 4 watches. They all have separate reviews if you want to check them out, whichever corner it pops up in. Firstly, we'll start off with the SEIKO Turtle, which is just the blue turtle, the SRP103J, I think it is. Then there's going to be the monster, which is the SRPE27K, I'm pretty sure that monster is. Then we will go on to the SEIKO Samurai, that's the Save the Ocean one, which is the SRPE33K, I'm pretty sure that one is. Then there's going to be the SEIKO Sumo, which is the SPB103J, I'm pretty sure it is. So starting off, we're going to be talking about the SEIKO Turtle. This watch was the first SEIKO I ever got, and it is what really started my interest towards SEIKO, and it is a really good watch. So starting off with the specs of this watch, of course, as usual with SEIKO, it is going to be a full stainless steel. Most of their watches are mostly just made out of stainless steel because they are divers. So they are made to a standard, and it just looks really good with that kind of like that brush polish kind of mix that they do. It looks really good. It is going to be an automatic movement. This specifically is going to be the 4R36 movement with 24 joules. Now, I don't have an issue with the 4R36 movement. It has the day date and it works really well. It keeps time really well, and it's a good movement. It works well. If it works, it's a good movement. It is going to be a Hardlex crystal, which again, I'm not going to be super picky over. It is fairly cheap. It's only like 420 Australian dollars, so I'm not going to be super picky over it. It does have that one-way rotating bezel, which is going to be 120 clicks, which all of these watches are going to be the one-way rotating 120 click bezel. So I'm not going to be getting into that too much. They are going to all have the screw down crown and case back, so we're not going to be going into that too much. They all have the exact same clasp, which is just going to be a pressed metal clasp. None of them are milled, so that's not going to be an issue. And all of them are 200 meter water resistance. That's pretty much all of that marked off. They're all going to be 200 meters. They're all going to have the pressed clasp. They're all going to have that 120 click bezel, which I'm not mad about. I do like all of those. That's probably why I tend to go towards those more than the higher end watches. I do want the Marine Master 300, to be honest, because it is something else. It is beautiful, honestly. But it is like very expensive and very hard to come by. So I tend to kind of just stick to those cheaper kind of watches. Getting into my likes and dislikes about this watch. My like about this watch is that it's very simple, it's very simplistic. The blue is really nice. Like, I love blue things. Blue is my favorite color. So I tend to go towards blue watches and knives and kind of more towards blue stuff. The blue on this is really nice. The bezel kind of has this really nice shine to it. The actual face of the watch is going to be like a matte blue, which looks really good when it hits the light because it's got no reflection to it. It looks just matte blue. It just looks so nice, and the two blues from the bezel and the face work together really well. It's a nice color combo. The hands look really good. They're probably my favorite hands because it's really easy to set this watch with those hands because you can line it straight up with whichever indice you want. I do like day dates, and this one doesn't have a magnifier, which a lot of people don't like magnifiers, so I'm not one of those people. I do like a magnifier, and I also don't like a magnifier. It doesn't matter to me. If it's there, cool, it just means I can see the date a little bit better. If it's not there, I'm completely fine with it. It doesn't bother me at all. But the day date is very visible, readable. It's really good. And the lume on this watch is just outstanding. It is amazing. That Luma bright is just perfect. So yeah, that is going to be the SEIKO Turtle, the SRP773K1. Just getting a mouthful. Yeah, I'd probably give this watch maybe like a 7.5 out of 10. It's, well, do you know what? I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. It is a pretty good watch. Just because it's very simplistic, it's very basic, it's cheap, and it runs really well, keeps really good time. It is right now 10:46 and it is reading 10:47, and I set it literally like half a week ago. I've been wearing it for like 4 days. So it's gained a minute in like 4 days. That's not bad. That's actually pretty good. Moving on to the SEIKO Monster. Now, let's talk about what happened. So when I first got this watch, it was my favorite watch. It was absolutely amazing. It was outstanding. It has the magnifier. It has that amazing bezel. It's got this really cool, unique design to it between the crown and the lining up of the bezel and the actual case, and it was so unique. I loved it. I fell in love with it. I got it. It worked really well. It kept really good time until about 6 months ago. I went to wind the watch and it didn't work. It has stopped working. It doesn't go. It doesn't do anything. It just, the movement, the actual movement on the inside has just stopped working. So I'm gonna have to send it back to SEIKO, which I really don't want to do, and it does really break my heart to have to do that because it is a really good watch and I really like it. It is really unique, but the movement has stopped. I don't know if it's a 1 in a million. I haven't checked if anyone else has had this issue. I probably should, but it just really sucks that had to happen. It really sucks that the one watch that I was absolutely in love with because it was so unique and different, it stopped. So I will be sending that back to SEIKO and updating you guys if I get a warranty repair on it. With the watch actually working, it's easily a 9 out of 10. It is a 9 out of 10 watch, almost a 10 out of 10. With it not working, it's a 0 out of 10 because it doesn't work. So on the basis, if it was still working, it would probably be my most worn watch. On the basis that it doesn't work, it is my least worn watch because it doesn't work. I didn't talk much about the SEIKO Monster because it doesn't work, so like it's not worth talking about. If you guys do want to find out more about it, it'll be linked up below the review that I did on it when I first got it. That was done like 2 years ago, so if you want to go and have a look at that, just click on the link and it'll take you straight to it. Next watch is going to be the SEIKO Samurai Save the Ocean Manta Ray. This one is going to be the SRP103J, and it is absolutely gorgeous. As I said in the review for this one, it is absolutely gorgeous. When that light hits it and you see those manta rays and the texture, it blows me away how amazing this watch is. It is just amazing. The hands on it go really well. It looks super awesome. The second hand, I love how it has that really long needle at the end. It looks so beautiful. This one is only going to be a date with a magnifier, which again, I'm not a magnifier snob, I don't mind. Obviously the bezel is going to be black and the watch face is going to be blue with those manta rays. It is absolutely beautiful. I do know the glass is a sapphire. It's going to be the anti-reflective sapphire, which works really well. It's so when the light hits it, which is its most beautiful part, is when the light hits it, it's so you can see that beautiful face pop with all that texture and the manta rays. Definitely the most beautiful watch that I have. The movement is going to be the 4R35 movement. I'm pretty sure this is the only watch I have that has the 4R35 movement, which it's a great movement. It's pretty much like the 4R36 movement, but it doesn't have the day. That's pretty much the only difference. It is a great watch. If I was to rate it out of 10, it would be like a 9.5. It is definitely a 9.5. It is actually, you know what, it's probably a 9 because the bezel is very thin and it doesn't have the best texturing. So if you have naturally sweaty hands like I do, it is really hard to grip on your wrist and spin, and it catches on a few. It doesn't spin perfectly. So it would be a 9 just because the fact that the bezel is a little bit hard to turn. got it. Yeah, that's probably the only problem with this watch. The movement works, bracelet is amazing. It's just your normal Seiko bracelet. And yeah, it's a great watch. It's beautiful, 9 out of 10. Going on to the next and the last watch, we're gonna be talking about the amazing, if you don't know this watch, you've been living under a rock. It's going to be the Seiko Sumo. I have to admit, it is perfect. It's probably not perfect for everyone because some people like chronographs, some people like, you know, bling watches, some people like Rolexes, some like Citizen. I'm a Seiko fan. I'm a Seiko fanboy. I don't care, bully me for it. Yeah, I'm a Seiko fanboy, as you can tell, because pretty much all my watch reviews are Seikos. This one is going to be the SPB103J. The J, of course, means it's made in Japan. To me, I don't care where it's made. It is a watch to me, and it comes in about 705 Australian dollars, which again, isn't too expensive. The green on this is, it is so beautiful. I've never worn a green watch. I've never liked green much, but this green is absolutely perfect. It goes so well with the watch. The glass type is sapphire, so you're not gonna have issues with it being scratched and everything. It's pretty much scratch resistant. It is an automatic. Obviously, I don't really like solar and kind of like battery watches. I do like automatics because they last forever. It's pretty much the same bracelet as the rest. It's just where the clasp is smaller. I do like that. It is a very nice design. It fits really well on the wrist and it feels like there's no clasp there at all. The movement of this watch is going to be the 6R35 movement, which is great. It is an amazing movement. It pretty much keeps perfect time. Between me having it on my wrist and it speeds up to me taking it off my wrist and laying it down, it slows down. It pretty much keeps perfect time every time I pick it up at the end and beginning of the day, which is nice. It obviously is going to be out by a few minutes at the end of a week, but like it's faster at the end of the week. So you just pull out the crown, wait for the time to roll past, boom, push it back in, done. Your watch is back to being on time. So it's great. Downsides of this watch. Yeah, no, there's none. If I was to rate it out of 10, it would be probably the easiest 10 I could ever give to a watch. It is perfect. The shape of the case is really unique and amazing. How it's got those guards that come up the side. The bezel spins really well. It's audible. It's smooth. It's gorgeous. The green is amazing. It pops. The date is it's really nice. It's out of the way. It's small, can still read it. The hands go really well with the watch. It makes it pop. The Luma brightly is really good. The second hand's nice. It keeps time. It's got a screw down crown. It's got that really nice tapered clasp at the back. It is a screw down back case, but I've got no issues with that. It still holds, you know, water. It's 200-meter diver. It is 10 out of 10 best watch in my collection. So if you were to ask me which is the best Seiko watch in your collection, Sumo. The Sumo is the best watch in my collection, and it only comes in around $700, which is the most expensive in my collection, but it's also great. You pay that little bit more and you get an amazing watch. So the Seiko Sumo takes the win. Coming in second will definitely be the Seiko Turtle because of how simplistic it is and just how nice it is. Then the Seiko Samurai because it's beautiful and it just fits really well on the wrist and it just looks amazing. Then the Monster. As much as I love the Monster and it's unique, it stopped working. So I can't really give it too many points. Yeah. So anyway, thank you all so much for coming out and watching this video talking about which Seiko watch in my collection is my favorite. Seiko Sumo wins. Thank you all for coming out and I will catch you guys next video.